Hey there. Happy Tuesday. I hope this day finds you well. Welcome to Tuesday Tips. Today we are diving into the reality that we are all human beings, and as human beings, we hit walls, we hit barriers that sometimes influence the way that we show up in our coaching partnerships, with our families, with our friends. And so today we are diving into focus coaching, how to eliminate those energy drains that happen to all of us. And very truthfully, I'm bringing this topic forward because when I was thinking about what are we going to talk about today that highlights the show that's coming out tomorrow with Diane Kokoska, we are going to be talking about being the main character in your own life. What are your energy flows? What are those success energy flows versus the drains that get in the way? And just some incredible things around mindset and being. So I'm super excited for you to hear the show that comes out live tomorrow. Do know that a new show comes out for the Star Coach Show every Wednesday. And if you never want to miss when it comes out, be sure to subscribe to the Star Coach Show wherever you listen to your podcast, or follow us on YouTube at Star Coach Show, because that's the place to be, where I drop tips and strategies and we do our shorts there. So that's a great place to be. So, getting back to what was it about this topic that made me think, okay, so if I'm doing that show tomorrow with Diane Kokoska, and it's all about positive energy, I thought, you know, what is going on in my own life right now that I can bring forward in Tuesday Tips to hopefully be helpful? Because that's my goal, is to drop some kind of tip on Tuesdays that you can immediately apply to your skills, to your building your business, your leadership traits, whatever that is. So this concept of energy came up for me, and really energy drain, because life is busy. We've got all these conflicting demands. Sometimes we've got people who put things on our calendars because that's, we need to meet that need for them. And I think sometimes we don't slow down and pay attention to what are our priorities, what are the key things that are important to us. And I believe that when we don't do that, that's one of the things that ends up draining us. So I'm going to get really, uh, vulnerable and sort of naked with you here and say that this has recently come up for me in my life. So I am working with my coach, and we're reviewing some recordings that I want to build my skills, always wanting to build my skills. I'm looking to submit for the MCC, but I've been really distracted lately. And my coach, and this is one of my tips, if you're feeling like you've got an energy drain, who are you working with that can hold up the mirror for you? Or who in your life can support you and kind of say, what's happening for you? Because that's exactly what my coach said. She said, Meg, what is going on? What is going on with you? Your coaching is fine, but it's not Meg coaching. It's not what I'm used to hearing from you. Your flow, you're a little more sort of guarded in your coaching. And and while I knew that somewhere within me, I don't know that I knew it consciously. And I think that we have to bring our energy drains up to our consciousness to really decide, what do I want to do with that? So she, like, all right, let's talk about what's going on. And when there's, if you've got any health concerns, now this wasn't what she was saying to me, but I'm saying this to you, there were some diagnostic tests that I needed to take, which by the way have turned out to be fine. But at the time I didn't know if they were going to be fine. So that was weighing on me, but I would just kind of put it to the back, right? Like, oh, it's everything's fine. That's not even That's not weighing on me. But I believe that it was weighing on me and I was acting as if it wasn't. But I think sometimes when we act as if it's not, we're not giving it, we're not like processing it with somebody or talking things through or just acknowledging, maybe journaling about it. Or, what is your practice that you like to do to address when you've got energy drains? We all have conflicting demands, and if we just have that drain that's not paying attention, that we're not paying attention to, it can create a big pull on the way that we show up for ourselves, on the way that we show up for our clients. So I would just encourage you to be like tapped in. What are the things that are draining you? Do you have conflict, like way too many things on your plate? Have you overcommitted yourself? Are you clear about what your priorities are? Because that's the other thing that came up in my coaching session that I'm now sharing with you, is that I've set some priorities, some very clear priorities for myself for this year that I feel like I'm just kicking down the road because other priorities I allow to get put in front of those priorities that I had. So that ends up draining more energy. And I think that that ultimately impacts the way that I show up in my relationships, the way that I show up as a coach, um, the way that that I am in my being in my life. So I would just encourage you a couple things. Um, who are who can do you have in your life as the way of support? Um, that's one of the things that we do in the Star Coach community. We support one another. I'm there as a mentor and as an advisor. And the rest of the coaches are incredible. That yes, they're all there as, participants, but they are incredibly engaged with one another in bringing their own success forward, but in helping one another bring their success forward as well. What tools do you have in your life? Whether that's tools like, journaling or meditation or, being able to, gosh, put on music and go for a walk. Like, what is the thing, the tools that you need to reground, recenter, and to stop those drains from happening? Um, because they can you can lose more energy through that drain than maybe you're even aware of. The other thing is that I think sometimes we make it harder than it has to be. What's your low hanging fruit? What's maybe the easiest thing that you could do to begin to get back on track? So I committed to my coach that I was going to get back to my morning journaling and centering myself to stop feeling so fragmented and in all different directions, because I know that when I feel fragmented, I act fragmented and I don't get things done the way that I want to. I also am going to set, time for those things that I have prioritized for 2025 and really, each and every day look at what are those goals and what am I doing to get towards those goals. And when those things happen, even after that session with my coach where we sort of recentered me, made some decisions about things that I was going to do, I could already feel that I was different with my students and with my clients because I felt regrounded. So I decided to get sort of vulnerable and exposed to you today, in as much as, yeah, we all have energy drains, and I certainly have had an abundance, I feel, of energy drains as of late, and many are well under my I'm the one that holds the key. I just need to make a different decision. So I ask you, what are your energy drains? What is pulling you, whether it's health concerns, whether it is too many things to do or too many demands on, or and this is the other thing that happens when we have energy drains, it ends up impacting our confidence. So maybe part of that drain becomes like that imposter syndrome, or I'm not good enough, because when we feel fragmented, when we feel a lack of centered and groundedness, what ends up happening is the stories we tell ourselves get really big, and they undermine us, and we feel not as confident to do the kinds of things that we know we can do. So my challenge to you is, what do you need to ground in, to eliminate distractions that are keeping you from being who you want to be? How clear are you about those goals that you want to reach? And what is the practice you can put in place to reground into those goals and into that focus that you have, so that you begin to stop up those energy drains and instead step fully into who you want to be as a coach, who you want to be as a person, and how you can really enjoy this beautiful life that we have. So, those are my tips for you today. And I'll be back next Tuesday with more Tuesday tips. New show comes out tomorrow. I think it's called "Be the Main Character in Your Life." It's with Diana Kakuska, and she is amazing. And I think you're going to love the show. Uh, Remember, subscribe wherever you're listening so that you never miss a minute of what we bring forward. Until next week, this is Meg Rentschler wishing you the very best for your success. Have a great week.